I want to give a few examples of finding the inverse of a matrix. For this, we have to do a few steps. The first thing we have to do is find the determinant of the matrix. So if I want to find the determinant of the matrix, remember it's A times D minus B times C. So when I'm multiplying here, I'm saying 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. Always minus right there. Be very careful of that. And then negative 2 times 15 is negative 30. Of course, minus a negative becomes plus a positive, and this ends up being negative 10. So my determinant is negative 10. That's the first step, finding the determinant. Next, we're going to take that determinant, and we're going to put 1 over the determinant to find the inverse. So this was my determinant. Negative 10. Now we're going to use that, and we're going to put 1 over the determinant, and then we're going to multiply that, and we're going to swap A and D. We're going to swap those two numbers, and we're going to change the sign of B and C. We've kind of said that over and over. We're going to swap A and D, change B and C. Change those signs. So when we go to apply this to our inverse, we're going to say 1 over negative 10. And it's really easier to let that negative float to the top. And if you did that in your calculator, if you were to put this in your calculator, it's going to show negative 1/10. If it's a fraction that you need to reduce, I would reduce it. Or if it's a whole number, you want to change it to a whole number. But here's my new fraction, negative 1/10. And then I'm going to swap A and D. I'm going to swap 8 and negative 5. Negative 5 in the top left corner, and then 8 in the bottom right. And then I'm going to change the sign of negative 2 to positive 2, and of positive 15 to negative 15. Then you're going to multiply in this negative 1/10 to all of these numbers inside of, or all these elements inside of the matrix. And you're going to reduce. And you can do that in your calculator. If I distribute, or I multiply in this negative 10, 1/10 times negative 5, that's going to be 5/10. Negative 1/10 times 2 is negative 2/10, in case you don't have a calculator. Negative times a negative is a positive 15/10. And then negative 1/10 times 8 is negative 8/10. Don't forget that you always reduce a fraction. I'm going to have to come this way. So I'm going to reduce all those fractions, and it will be 1/2, negative 1/5. 15 over 10 reduces by 5 to 3/2. And then negative 8 over 10 is negative 4/5. So here's my inverse right here for this matrix here, 8, negative 2, 5, negative 15. My answer, or my inverse, is this 2 by 2 matrix right here. This is the inverse. So I found my determinant, and then I applied that rule, 1 over the determinant, swap A and D, change the signs of B and C, and I multiplied it in. That's that particular one. I'm going to show you another one. Example number 2. Again, I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to first find the determinant. So to find the determinant, we say 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6, minus, now go this way right here, 4 times 1 is 4. So this determinant is 2. Here's my determinant. Then to find the inverse, you're going to say 1 over the determinant, which is 2. And then you're going to swap A and D. You're going to swap 2 and 3 to 3 and 2. And you're going to change the sign of B and C, negative 4 and negative 1. We're going to swap A and D, and we're going to change the signs of B and C. And it's 1 over the determinant out front. That part's very important. Now we want to multiply that in. So we have 1/2 times 3, which is 3/2. 1/2 times negative 4 is just negative 2. 1/2 times negative 1 is negative 1/2. And then half of 2 is 1. This is my inverse. So to find that inverse, here it is right here. I want to show you one more example. Moving this one out of the way. I have another 2 by 2, and of course all of these are going to be 2 by 2. Find the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix. I'm going to start with the determinant. To find my determinant, I'm going to say 3 times 4 is 12. Negative 6 minus, let me come back up here, minus. Negative 6 times negative 2 is 12. My determinant is 0. If your determinant is 0, then there is no inverse. And that's what I would write. That there is no inverse because the determinant is 0. If I were to go and write 1 over the determinant, 1 over 0, and then I were to swap A and D, change B and C, there's no way to multiply this in because this, any number over 0, is considered undefined. So this would have no inverse because the determinant is 0. That's how you find the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix.